When the artist is the model, here's something compelling to consider. Throughout history, artists have painted their own likenesses, not just as exercises in technical mastery, but as deeply personal narratives, in some cases, or from necessity perhaps when an appointment was missed. But it does often display a window into their souls, status, or the evolving self-perception. From the 17th century elegance of Anthony van Dyck to the raw introspection of Rembrandt, the self-portrait has been a powerful tool of storytelling. Van Dyck, the court painter to Charles I, painted himself with aristocratic refinement, exuding confidence and the elegance befitting his station. Meanwhile, Rembrandt's self-portraits, over 80 of them, trace a dramatic arc of success, loss, and aging, transforming his own face into a study of humanity itself. Fast forward to the 19th century, and William Bouguereau and Jean-Léon Gérôme, both pillars of academic realism, took different approaches. Bouguereau's self-portraits reflect his meticulous attention to detail, presenting himself as both artist and intellectual. Gérôme, ever the historian, often painted himself with a certain self-awareness, embedding his image into grander narratives, whether within ancient Rome or his own workshop. Then there's John Singer Sargent, the master of bravura brushwork. His self-portraits, though far fewer, capture his enigmatic personality. He was both confident in his skills and wary of excessive self-revelation. Unlike Rembrandt's brutal honesty, Sargent often depicted himself with an air of distance, an artist who preferred painting others, but, on occasion, turned the brush toward himself. Each self-portrait is more than just a face on canvas. It is a statement, a legacy, a moment frozen in time where the artist asks, "How will I be seen?" Claude Monet and Edgar Degas, both renowned Impressionist painters, created a limited number of self-portraits compared to some of their contemporaries. However, their approaches to self-representation were quite different. Monet was not particularly focused on self-portraits, as his primary interest was capturing light, particularly landscapes, and everyday life. However, there are a few known self-portraits attributed to him. Self-portrait with a beret of 1886, showing him in middle age with a beard and a somewhat serious expression, and one in his studio as if waiting, pondering his next effort. Degas, by contrast, painted multiple self-portraits, particularly in his early career. His self-portraits often reflected his exploration of classical and academic styles before transitioning into a more personal impressionism that relied on linear forms with added colour. Some notable examples include a youthful depiction of Degas, showing his early academic style with precise and careful brushwork. Degas was ever the analytic, introspective artist, his wit and thoughts reflective of his views on art. In turning to the self-portraits by Meissonier, Carolus Duran, and Bastien Lepage, we have the strong French style that captivated the 19th century, with the painter Jean-Louis Ernest Meissonier, known for his meticulous historical paintings, also created self-portraits that reflect his precise and detailed style. His self-portraits often depict him as an intellectual and refined artist, sometimes in period costume, emphasizing his admiration for the past. His brushwork is meticulous, with a rich use of color and texture and fine drawing while capturing the realism for which he was famous. Carolus Duran, the celebrated portraitist and influential teacher, notably of John Singer Sargent, painted himself with the same elegance and confidence seen in his portraits of others. His self-portraits exude charisma, often showing him in fashionable attire with a bold, painterly technique. He favored a bold, fluid application of paint, using dramatic lighting to emphasize the depth and vitality of his sitters, as can be seen in the portrait of his wife. Jules Bastien Lepage was a key figure in the naturalist movement. Bastien Lepage's self-portraits reflect his dedication to realism and the honest depiction of life. His works are often more introspective, presenting himself with a direct and unembellished gaze. His brushwork is freer compared to Meissonier, but retains a strong sense of natural light and atmospheric depth, giving his portraits a raw and personal quality. His dedication to plein-air naturalism was the envy of generations of painters. Each artist's self-portrait captures not only their physical likeness, but also their artistic philosophy and personal style, Meissonier's precision, Carolus Duran's elegance, and Bastien Lepage's naturalism. Speaking of the naturalist movement and the impact of Bastien Lepage on the works of others around him, we find the artist Dagnan Bouveret, a close associate of Bastien and heavily influenced by similar subjects, and then we find the English artist George Clausen, who also authored books on Bastien, giving powerful and instructive lectures at the Royal Academy on painting. And there is also the Finnish painter Albert Edelfelt, who had a very active career with his views of the life around him. Each had the same interests in this new way, recording nature, working en plein air and developing their style with conviction, with a solid path forward. Then there is Anna Bilinska, also known as Anna Bilinska-Bodanowicz, a Polish painter known for her portraits with striking realism. She spent most of her life in Paris and was considered the first internationally known Polish woman artist. Her talent for drawing is unmistakable, as can be seen in this striking portrait of a black woman, a tour de force of paint handling. From this brilliant work by Anna Bilinska, we turn to another female artist, Asta Nørregård, a Norwegian painter known for her portraits, particularly of prominent figures in Norway during her time. She studied at the Royal School of Drawing in Oslo and later trained in Germany and France, where she was influenced by academic realism. Nørregård gained fine recognition for her ability to capture personality and real feeling in her portrait work. Her self-portraits reflect a strong sense of identity and professionalism, portraying her as both confident and introspective. Now we come to the very gifted Rosa Bonheur, who was a celebrated French realist painter and widely acclaimed for her large horse-fair paintings. She specialized in animal paintings and was a friend of William Bouguereau, often lending him animals she had for various needs for his own works. Bonheur was a meticulous draftsman and praised for her skills. So when Buffalo Bill's Wild West show arrived in France, she made sure to go and went even as far to invite Buffalo Bill to sit for a portrait. She invited Bill to have his portrait painted by her and invited him to her estate at Fontainebleau, and he gladly accompanied her. Once completed, Buffalo Bill loved the portrait so much that he reproduced it in posters for his show. From the American side, we have these three artists, Duveneck, Chase, and Eakins. Each used self-portraiture not only as a way to depict their physical likeness, but as a reflection of their artistic vision and personal identity. Duveneck's boldness, Chase's refinement, and Eakins' realism provide us with unique insights into their characters and artistic priorities. Their artworks serve as lasting testaments to their legacies in American art. We begin with Frank Duveneck, an artist celebrated for his dramatic brushwork and strong contrasts. His self-portraits reflect a deep confidence, often portraying him with a direct gaze and a commanding presence. Duveneck's use of dark tonal palettes, influenced by his European training, particularly in Munich, adds a striking depth to his self-representations. His work demonstrates not only his technical mastery, but also a sense of self-assurance and determination that characterized his career as both a painter and a teacher. Next we turn to William Merritt Chase, a highly regarded portraitist and impressionist who was known for his refined and sophisticated style. Chase's self-portraits often present him in elegant attire, reflecting his status as a cultured artist within high society. His use of light, fluid brushstrokes, and vibrant color contribute to a sense of vitality and poise. Unlike Duveneck's darker, more dramatic approach, Chase's self-portraits convey a sense of ease and confidence, reinforcing his image as an artist of both skill and social standing. He was further honored by the portrait painting of Chase by John Singer Sargent, which was a gift to Chase from his students who proudly funded the painting. Finally, we come to Thomas Eakins, an artist deeply devoted to realism. Eakins approached self-portraiture with an intense honesty, capturing himself with an unembellished, almost stark realism. His most famous self-portrait, painted in 1902, is a powerful study of self-examination. It presents him not as a glorified figure, but as a deeply introspective individual, marked by the struggles and dedication of a lifelong commitment to art and truth. His early training in France with Gérôme guided his path and would prove Eakins' work stands apart for its psychological depth, as he does not shy away from depicting age, fatigue, or personal introspection. The École des Beaux-Arts in France shaped generations of artists, emphasizing rigorous academic training, mastery of form, and idealized beauty. Among its most influential figures were Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres, Léon Bonnat, and Alexandre Cabanel, each of whom left a distinct mark on the tradition of great painting. We begin with the esteemed Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres. Ingres's self-portraits reflect his unwavering commitment to classical ideals and his belief in the supremacy of drawing. His youthful self-portrait, painted around 1804, shows an intense gaze and controlled technique, already hinting at his future mastery of line and form. Though he rarely revisited self-portraiture in later years, he did do some revisions to his likeness in various sketches and studies, suggesting a deep self-awareness, and portraying himself as a guardian of tradition against the rising tides of Romanticism. His drawings of people have been the most revered of his output and much sought after. Léon Bonnat was another gifted artist and teacher, known for his striking realism and powerful portraiture, who approached self-portraiture with an unembellished directness. His works emphasize strong contrasts of light and shadow, giving his features a sculptural solidity. His self-portraits lack the idealization seen in Ingres or Cabanel, instead displaying a rugged intensity that speaks to his realist naturalism inclinations. As a teacher, his influence extended across generations, fostering a more modern observational approach to painting. The very distinguished Alexandre Cabanel embodies the refined elegance of the Beaux-Arts tradition. In his best-known likeness, he presents himself as the epitome of academic success, with a composed yet slightly self-assured expression. His smooth, almost porcelain-like handling of skin tones and meticulous brushwork reflect the ideals he championed. While his self-portraits are rare, his well-observed portrait shown here is truly exemplary. His artistic legacy is immortalized in the many celebrated works he produced and the influential students he mentored. Among Cabanel's pupils were Jules Bastien-Lepage, Émile Friant, and Dagnon Bouverie. Each developed unique styles that extended beyond their master's influence, moving toward naturalism and symbolist realism. They absorbed Cabanel's technical perfection while diverging into more expressive, emotionally charged depictions of contemporary life. Now we will explore the lives and artistic legacies of three highly influential portraitists of the 18th century: Sir Joshua Reynolds, Gilbert Stuart, and Sir Henry Raeburn. Each of these artists played a significant role in shaping the art of portraiture, capturing not just the likeness of their subjects, but also their personality and status. We begin with Sir Joshua Reynolds, one of the most important English portrait painters of his time. Reynolds was not just a gifted artist, he was also a scholar and the first president of the Royal Academy of Arts, which he helped establish in 1768. His artistic philosophy was deeply rooted in what he called the grand manner, a style that blended classical influences with a sense of idealized nobility. Reynolds' portraits exuded elegance and dignity, and often painted British aristocracy, military leaders, and intellectuals. One of the most revealing insights into Reynolds' artistic style comes from his self-portrait of 1776. Here, we see him dressed with a quiet confidence, his gaze steady, reflecting both his mastery as a painter and his status as an intellectual force in the British art world. Rembrandt was his favorite technician, and he would befriend the younger American artist, Gilbert Stuart, as a sign of mutual respect. Next, we turn to Gilbert Stuart, the American artist best known for his portraits of U.S. presidents. Born in Rhode Island, Stuart trained in London under the celebrated artist Benjamin West. However, it was upon returning to America that he truly made his mark. His most famous work, the unfinished portrait of George Washington, remains one of the most reproduced images in American history. It is the very portrait that graces the U.S. $1 bill. Stuart was known for his ability to capture the essence of his subjects, often depicting them with a naturalism that was ahead of his time. Unlike Reynolds' more classical approach, Stuart preferred livelier, more spontaneous brushwork. His self-portrait from 1786 is a testament to this style, showcasing a relaxed yet thoughtful expression, revealing both his skill and his keen observational eye, and this is further seen with his portrait of Sir Joshua Reynolds. Finally, we arrive in Scotland to discuss Sir Henry Raeburn, the leading portraitist of his country during the late 18th and early 19th centuries. Unlike Reynolds, who was influenced by the Italian Renaissance, or Stuart, who was shaped by his time in London and America, Raeburn developed a distinctly Scottish approach to portraiture. Raeburn's paintings are known for their dramatic use of light and shadow, often highlighting the sitter's face against a darker background. His works feel immediate, intimate, and full of personality. A prime example is his self-portrait from 1815, where he presents himself with a direct, almost penetrating gaze. It is an image that encapsulates his ability to convey both psychological depth and artistic confidence. Each of these artists, Reynolds, Stuart, and Raeburn, brought something unique to the field of portraiture. Reynolds gave us the grandeur of the aristocracy, Stuart provided us with the faces of American history, and Raeburn captured the spirit of Scotland's elite. Their works continue to be studied and admired, reminding us of the power of portraiture not just as a means of representation but as a window into the lives and personalities of the past. Turning to Italy, we embark on a journey through the vibrant world of three remarkable Italian painters of the 19th century, Domenico Morelli, Giovanni Boldini, and Filippo Palizzi. Each of these artists, though different in style and vision, contributed immensely to the evolution of Italian art, leaving behind a legacy of passion, movement, and realism. Let us begin with Domenico Morelli, the romantic visionary, born in Naples in 1823. Morelli was deeply inspired by the dramatic emotions of Romanticism. From an early age he was drawn to the grandeur of history, literature, and spirituality, which became the foundation of his artistic career. His paintings are filled with deep shadows and intense expressions, capturing the turmoil and devotion of his subjects. He was not just a painter, but a storyteller, bringing biblical and historical figures to life with his vivid brushstrokes. Morelli was also a leading force in a movement that pushed for more naturalism in Italian painting. And now we step into the glittering salons of Paris, where Giovanni Boldini, born in 1842, reigned as the portraitist of the elite. He was a painter of motion, of elegance, of the high society that defined the Belle Époque. His works exude a sense of movement and sophistication. With swift, sweeping brushstrokes, he transformed his subjects into glamorous, almost cinematic figures, women in flowing silk gowns, men with a confident gaze, the very essence of luxury and refinement. Boldini's self-portraits reveal a man fully aware of his artistic prowess. As he aged, his gaze became sharper, his brushstrokes bolder, as if defying time itself. He did not simply paint himself, he crafted an image of an artist at the height of his power, capturing both his energy and his undeniable charisma. Now let us step away from the grand salons of Boldini's world and into the peaceful countryside, where Filippo Palizzi, born in 1818, dedicated his life to capturing the beauty of nature. Unlike the dramatic Morelli or the stylish Boldini, Polizzi was a man of precision and observation. His paintings are filled with light, detail, and a deep respect for the natural world. He was fascinated by animals, landscapes, and rural life, painting them with a scientific accuracy that made his works come alive. His self-portrait, like his art, is meticulous. There is no excess, no theatrics, only a quiet, serious artist looking back at us with the same patience and dedication that he gave to his work. It is a portrait of honesty, of a man devoted to capturing the world as it is. Each of them left behind a legacy, not only through their masterpieces but through their self-portraits, where they reveal not only their faces but their spirits as artists fully aware of the power of the brush. For artists, the art of the self-portrait is a look into the soul of the painter with all the information they wish for us to explore, and there are yet many more we wish to include. But this is just a very brief review that we hope to add to later. But for now we trust you enjoyed this journey into the painters as they see themselves. So with that, we hope to see you next time, and please remember to leave a like and subscribe. Also, there is a PayPal link below for any amount, so until next time, it's bye for now.